It's just Bruce, he don't bite. Hello?
Hello there. Let's do some resin crafting with Bruce. Shall we? Today we are making action figure stands.
Hey folks, welcome back to the shop once again. I decided after doing that video last night about how to make a mold for action figure stands that I should probably show you how to take it apart and how to use it now. I wasn't going to, but my wife said, well, you kind of left it open-ended. I just assume people that are interested in this know how to do it. And I'm sure most of us do. But for those of you that don't, let's continue with part 2 of how to make the action figures. Now, if you watch part 1, which is the video I just did before that, if I remember, I'll leave a link in the description. When we were done, we had poured this guy. Let me get you the better camera. I'm sure you don't want to look at me. As you can see, the lighting is all messed up on my camera today because I'm doing a video during the daytime, which I never do. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't feel like messing with it. I'm going to get the point across. If you watch my videos, you know they're never perfect anyway. So let's show you what we're working on. Here we have our molds that we prepared in the last video, last night. If you remember, I had some excess left over. So what I did is I went ahead and I put 3 more action figure stands on the bottom of this plastic container. And I covered up with the leftover molding compound that I had, which, if you don't remember the molding compound I used, it is called Decorum Liquid Silicone, part A and B. This is only part A. I found this on Amazon. It's one of the cheapest ones I could find. And honestly, it works pretty good. I've been using it all this time. So there's other brands you can buy, and they all work the same way. So that's just a basis. I'm not endorsing the program or the product or anything. Anyway, let's get back to our piece here. As you can see, we filled this up. It is nice and hard and firm. And I kind of want to save this bowl, so I'm going to, otherwise I would just tear it off, but I might have to use it again. So I'm just going to work around the edges here, pull the edges apart. There's 2, there's 3, there's number 4 is being stubborn. There it is, number 4. If I do ruin it, it's not a big deal. I mean, I'm just trying to save it. There we go. Okay, this is coming out nice. I'm just gently peeling it off of the masters. And okay, one of my masters came up. That's okay too. This is what we're molding. This is a clear version of the action stands. And here's the mold that we got. And what we're going to do is we're going to pour some resin in each one of these, and it's going to make us an action figure stand. Now, if you can see, and I'm not too concerned about it, some of the molding compound got underneath the master. That's why I have this lip here. Now, you can cut that off. Me, I'm going to leave it there so it tells me when to stop putting the resin in there. And here's the second one. Let's get this done real quick. I really don't care if I ruin this container at all. I've got 100 of them. It's actually what I put my action figures in when I sell them and put them on cards. They're really convenient. And a little bit gentle. There we go. 2 of the masters stuck. That's okay. We're going to pop them out gently. Another one. See, now this one also got the molding compound underneath it. That's really not going to hurt me. Really not going to hurt me. In fact, let's take an X-Acto knife and cut it out. And you see, I removed the excess molding compound. Not perfectly. Take a little knife here and cut it. That's all there is to it. Nothing hard. If you leave a little bit on there, guess what? It ain't going to hurt. It isn't going to hurt. So now I have the capability of making 4, 5, 6, 7 action figure stands. Just like this. Let's pour them, shall we? So, of course, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to gather all our materials and safety stuff that we need. Some people wear safety glasses doing this. These are my shop glasses, so I'm not much worried about it. That's up to you. You know, it has a tendency to splash. I'm just hoping it doesn't get in my beard. Rubber gloves, of course, prevent skin irritations. If you get this stuff in your skin, some people are really sensitive to it. Me, personally, not really. So I don't always use gloves, and you'll see in my other videos, sometimes I just forget to use them. Today, I remembered ventilation is very important. In my shop here, that's a coal cellar, and there's a coal chute on this wall. When I put a giant fan in it, it's blowing all the fumes out that way. Then I had the door to my other shop open, so I've got free-flowing air coming through here, and it goes right out there. Those fumes can make you sick. It bothers some people, give you a headache, make you feel, depending on what brand you're using, it can make you feel kind of good. But I don't condone that, not at all. Seriously, I don't. So always protect yourself. And then we're going to get the rest of our supplies. I got 2 shot glasses here. They're plastic shot glasses you can get at the dollar store. It'd be helpful if they were on camera. There they are. And I have them already loaded up, part A and part B of my resin. The resin we're using today is right here. It's called Let's Resin, polyurethane resin, part A and B. It is a white resin. It should dry between 10 and 20 minutes, depending on the weather, outside temperature, your mold temperature. It's a quick resin. It only gives you about 2 minutes of pot life after you mix it together. Hence why it's separated right now. I got a plastic cup here. You might think, oh, just a plastic cup, no big deal, I can use any cup. Actually, you can't. If you use a Dixie cup, they have a wax coating on it. So don't use a cup with a wax coating on. The paper cups with wax coatings, don't use them. If you want to know if it has a wax coating on, if you're not sure, just take your fingernail and scratch it a couple times. If it has a wax coating, it'll start coming up. And it's wax. I mean, the reason it won't work is the resin we're using today heats up. I don't know exactly what temperature it gets to. It gets to probably about 110, I would guess, just by holding a cup and feeling it getting warm. That's just a guess. So if you know better, leave me in the comments. And anyway, that would melt the wax, and that wax goes into your resin, into your project, which can cause fault lines and fissures in whatever you're casting, especially if you're doing something small like what we're doing, because it'd be a higher wax concentration. So keep that in mind. Use proper cup. This is the smallest cup I have because it's a small project. I use stirring sticks, popsicle sticks, whatever you want to call them. I always use a new one each batch. It's just the habit I got into. There are silicone stirrers you can get, which you use them, set them aside. When the resin dries, you can scrape it off. You're good to go. All right, now we are going to start mixing this. The problem I'm going to have today, and I'm hoping I don't screw this up, because if I screw it up, I'm leaving it in. The problem I'm going to have today is I'm in my basement. I don't have the air conditioner on. It's kind of a nice day outside. It's about 82 degrees. I like to keep it in here about 68, 70 degrees when I work with resin. It helps it gives me more time to pour correctly. Today, these are going to dry pretty quick. If they dry too quick, they might not come out the way I want them to, because the important part about these is this little foot peg I'm concerned with. And this has been a problem once in a while. A little foot peg right there that sticks up. Turn it this way, you can see. You have to make sure that's full of resin. Immediately, it's going to get an air bubble in there when I pour it. So I have to make sure there's no air bubbles in these. Otherwise, they're not going to come out usable. And then I'm just going to have a bunch of discs, which I don't have use for those. So that's our goal today. So I'm going to have to rush through this. As soon as I combine these two parts of resin, I got to be speedy. So let's do that right now. Here goes part A into my cup. Set that aside. Here goes part B, and the race is on. Part B. Stir, stir, stir. Yeah, it's about 82 degrees in my shop today. It's about 84 outside according to my little thermometer here. My little thermometer app. All right, this is mixed. Now, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but I have to get them in these little holes here. So I'm going to make a little teeny tiny drip first in the hole first. Hopefully I hit it right, and there's an air bubble right there. I got to get that out. And don't have a better way to do it. Let's go to the next one. Sometimes it goes in the little thing. Sometimes I got to play with it. Today I think I'm going to have to play with it, which bothers me because it is hot out. But for now, I'm just filling them up, and I'll show you how I'm going to get those out. Usually I use these for just excess resin. Speaking of excess resin, I have too much resin, so we'll sit there. And I'm going to try to get these air bubbles out. This is just a regular stick. I'm just going to push that air bubble out of each one of these, and then slowly remove the stick and hope it fills up with resin. There's the bubble there. Come on, baby. Don't make me look wrong on the internet. It's still there. There it is. Okay, that's one. I've never done this many at a time. Usually I only do 4. So if we have a couple mistakes, well, you know, I leave my mistakes in there so you guys can learn too. Either what not to do, or at least to let you know that this isn't the easiest hobby ever. And you're going to make mistakes. Get all these bubbles out. You see past the brim of my hat? I guess. All right, one more. Oh, that doesn't have a bubble in it. Oh, there's a bubble. There's a bubba. Still in there. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Now you might be wondering, why don't you use a pressure pot or something like that, or a vacuum chamber? You don't have enough time. Not the pressure pot and vacuum chamber I use. You don't have enough time. This will take 10 minutes to dry. In fact, I'm going to fast forward. You can see it in a time lapse how it dries. Okay, it's been 10 minutes, and looking at them, they are not done yet. But if you look at my cup, this is already done. It's hard. The reason that is there's more of it. When it sticks together, the heat transfers better, and a thicker piece dries faster than a smaller piece. So we're going to let that sit for a few more minutes. I just want to show you that real quick. Usually, as a rule of thumb, when I make figures or anything else out of resin, I set the cup aside and wait till the cup is hard. And usually once the cup is hard, your project's done. In this case, because of the size of it, got to let it sit for a little longer. So let's check back in a few minutes, and I'll fast forward through it. You can still see the time-lapse thing. Five minutes later, let's see what we got. Yeah, they're pretty well hard. They're hard enough that I can take them out. So let's carefully peel them with the sides. Oh, you know what? They're still gooey. 5 more minutes. We're ready. I'm ready to try again. Same one. Pick it up. Oh, there we go. We're good. Taking the edges out a little bit. Now, believe it or not, these still aren't completely hard. But when they get like this, it's okay. Just gently peel them out. There's our piece. I'm going to set this somewhere flat so it stays flat. But as you can see, I was worried about the bubbles. Bubbles are fine. It made the little peg on there the way I want it. So there's one. Let's do the rest. Okay, it looks like all 7 of them come out very nice. Now, as you can see, they were a little bendy. That's okay. If I leave them sit on a flat surface, they will finish curing and they will be just fine. When they get completely cured and they're rock hard, then I can take a Dremel tool and take any little defects off the sides. I don't know if it's coming up. This one has a little fringe on the side there. I'll just take it off with a Dremel tool. We're ready to go. Now, you can paint these or just leave them as is. I leave them as is. And so that's that. Now, normally I don't make this many. I learned from the past. I had the last mold I had 12 of them on there, and like pouring them, I had more failures than I did successes. The failures would be an air bubble in the stem, which, like you saw me go through before with the stick, getting that air bubble has to come out of there. Very important, otherwise it's not going to work. So that's that. I don't know what else I can tell you. I'll be able to reuse these molds indefinitely. I can put clear resin in there. Those make nice stands too. I can put it, any kind of resin I want, really. I can put color resin, use tinting, mica powder, whatever you need to do. But that's how, just to make the most simplest mold ever. It doesn't even have to be the action figure stands. It can be a little pendant. It could be a Christmas ornament, 2D Christmas ornament. That's all I can tell you on that. So if you have any questions, throw it down in the comments. Like and share, please. I got more stuff coming up. And yeah, that's about it. Okay, bye.
It's just Bruce, he don't bite. Hello.